So, I've lived in this beautiful city for a long time now, 40 years to be precise. Okay, I'm dating myself a little bit. I've seen a lot of communities, and I'll tell you, one of my favorites is where I'm standing now, Evergreen. It's in the southwest of Calgary, and it has a lot going for it. On that note, let's get to it. I'm gonna give you the 5 reasons I think you'll love this community as much as I do. And make sure you stick around for reason number 5 because it's a little unorthodox and it's not something that you typically think of, but it's super important. So let's get to it. All right, another great run is done. And if you're new to the channel, I'm Jeff Tincher. I'm a real estate agent here in Calgary, Canada, and I have Canadian connections. I also have a lot of North American connections. And if you like what you see here and you like videos like this, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, give me a comment, give me a like. It helps the channel do well. And of course, it also brings more great videos and information like this to you. And on that note, if you want to dabble into something further, there's a calendar link below where you can get in touch with me. We'll have a half-an-hour call, talk about just about anything you want to real estate-wise. Let's be real, this video is not about me, but I will say this is one of my favorite parts about Evergreen, is being in Fish Creek Park. It is huge. It is one of the biggest parks within a city in all of North America. Yes, that's right. Even bigger, I believe, than Central Park in New York. You can look that stat up, but it's huge. You have everything from natural things like, yes, the token Canadian beaver dam. Beavers have taken trees all around here and made the dam their own. And an excellent part of it is the fact that you can bike on these trails. You can run like I do on these trails. There's natural scenery all around for as far as you can even really see. There's things like deer, the occasional bear. Don't be alarmed, that hardly ever happens. Things like moose once in a while. Beavers, as I mentioned, lots of wildlife, beautiful green spaces, so that if you want to bring your family, you can safely walk along the trails. If you want to do some extracurricular exercise, hiking, all that stuff, it's here. And Evergreen, there are several spots where you can access Fish Creek Park. It is one of the things that is so cool about living here, and you will love it. And if you listen closely, do you hear that? Yeah, it's just the wind, maybe the odd bird call. Peace and quiet in the heart of the city. You don't get that very many places. And here in Fish Creek Park, you have the hustle and bustle of the city nearby, but it's like this just about all the time. It's beautiful. Another reason you love Evergreen, and a lot of people already do living here, is because of places like this. I'm talking parks, and in particular, playgrounds. Already talked about the park spaces a little bit. Playgrounds in particular, super important. This is a very family-oriented community. And that means they want a ton of spaces to bring their kids, to meet other family members or friends, and have outdoor spaces to go. One thing that sticks out in my mind in particular with me and my family was when COVID hit and we had to be cooped up in these smaller spaces. And then it became, okay, well now I want a single family detached home so I can have more space, more yard, because we're not allowed to go on the parks because of COVID restrictions. Thank goodness that has all changed. We're looking back at that in the rearview mirror, and now we realize how important these park and playground spaces are, because it's a chance to come out and stretch and burn off some energy. And this particular community has so many of these spaces. I think more per capita than a lot of other communities that are around, and that draws people in and should draw you in too. Still, another thing that makes Evergreen awesome are the number of schools. You have plenty to choose from. There are several different K-5 schools like this one. There's junior high options, and there are also high schools nearby, albeit in the adjacent communities. Again, what's important is you have things on the public side. You have things on the private side that are very close and within this community, and you've got a lot of options to choose from. Whereas some newer communities and some other communities altogether, they're either full or they simply don't have them built yet or have them to choose from. Also worth noting that these schools are accessible to the entire community. There's people that come in from other communities too, But if you live in Evergreen, you have, like I've said, options. And this is unusual. Every school has a great playground. So you don't just get the school, you get the extracurricular that goes with it, the community building, that sense of pride like I've talked about. So overall, the big takeaway is you've got schools with playgrounds that are great, you've got playgrounds mixed in within the community, and when it comes to that outdoor space is when the days are like this and we've got all this sunshine and you want your kids to mingle with other kids, families to mingle and have that sense again of pride of ownership in a community, Evergreen has so much going for it in ways that other communities do not. Another thing you will absolutely love about this community are the amenities. There are lots of them, including several shopping plazas, and they're all accessible by bus transit, by a quick walk, or a quick drive. You've got about everything you could need here. Excuse me for 1 second while I put on the shades. It is a bit bright. And on that note, everything from, say, Shoppers Drug Mart, you've got your Starbucks for your coffee fix. There's also Tim Hortons, grocery stores. There are medical clinics, doctor's offices, dance studios, anything that you can think of is pretty much here. And what's cool about that is you then don't have to go to the neighboring community driving out of your way. There's even a Costco close by, which I should mention before I forget. All of it makes this community awesome to live in. And now for reason number 5, why I feel that you will love Evergreen, a little unorthodox like I mentioned, is the signage. When you come into a community, I've lived here long enough to know what communities have beautiful signage and beautiful curb appeal and what communities are a bit lacking. It brings across the points of safety, pride of ownership. It brings across the ideas of people care in this community. There's a sense of togetherness. And when it comes to paying something like a homeowners association fee, and on that note, there is a homeowners association fee in Evergreen, but interestingly, it's basically split down the middle within the community itself. Those dollars go to things like this, where you've got signage, beautiful signage, flower beds that are kept most of the year round when it's not winter. It lights up at night. Again, it gives you just that sense of, hey, our money's not only going to something, but there is pride in this community. You feel good about living here, and it's a place that you want to stay.